I think we probably beat that one dead. Let's go to the next game, Brad. We got Minnesota, according to Bovada, +8 at New Orleans.
+8.
8.
Kirky boy. I don't think that. Here's why I don't like Minnesota and I don't like Kirk Cousins this week is because he just laid a big egg on Monday night.
Oh, Monday night. Okay.
Right. And the last game of the year, I don't even know what happened because it was an exhibition game.
He didn't play.
Okay, so they're coming off that typical I don't think it works out very well for them, and I don't think it works out well for him.
Right.
I think he's gonna have a bad day, a bad day. I take New Orleans for sure.
So Kirk Cousins, again, from having spent time watching a lot of Redskins game, a lot of Kirk Cousins. In pressure situations, he gets happy feet, just like Peyton Manning got happy feet. Now, Peyton Manning won 2 Super Bowls, okay, but and should have won a third, by the way. But he got happy feet. I don't think this is a great game for Kirk Cousins. To me, it comes down to whether or not Dalvin Cook plays, and I think he will play. Minnesota is now getting healthier. I think this is a 4-point game. My computers unanimously picked Minnesota. If Dalvin Cook plays, and I'm assuming he will, I think New Orleans wins the game, and I think Minnesota loses by 4. This is a tough matchup. Minnesota could have very easily won the NFC North. They didn't, but they could have won that division. New Orleans, out of all the teams in the playoffs, I think that's probably the toughest draw they could have had in terms of matchup. I think that they would have matched up better against Seattle and Philadelphia. But, you draw Minnesota. That's how it happens. I do think New Orleans wins. I think the game could get uncomfortable for New Orleans. I see this as kind of the game where New Orleans leads the entire game but just never puts it away. So it's going to be stressful to watch. But, I just think, if I'm looking at this team, these two teams are very similar. They're strong. I'll take Drew Brees over Kirk Cousins, and that's the difference for me, okay?
Boy, Minnesota has a lot of Minnesota and New Orleans have a lot of playoff history, don't they?
They do, especially with that lucky Diggs grab, 2-3 years ago, whenever it was, with that streak down the sideline. They
had that deal. They had the game where Brett threw the interception across his body, right? Mm-hmm. That was with Minnesota in New Orleans, wasn't it?
And the championship, was that the NFC Championship game?
It was.
Man.
It was,
man,
dude.
Yeah. That was a Super Bowl year for New Orleans. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
this is to me as an ex-Washington fan. This would be like Washington finishing the season 13-3, getting the 3 seed. Which, by the way, is New Orleans the best 3 seed in playoff history?
Probably.
Are you kidding me?
They're really good. They're really good.
Are you kidding me? 13-3, 3 seed.
This would be
in my heyday watching, back when you and I used to watch games, Brad. This would be like Washington dominating all season, getting 13-3 record, somehow getting the 3 seed, and then having to play Seattle. That's the thing, because Seattle just always knocks Washington out of the playoffs. Now Minnesota, they had the drama, a couple years ago with the Diggs thing and all that, but this is a bad – I'm not going to say bad matchup because I don't think any matchup for New Orleans is bad. In fact, I think New Orleans is number 2 in my power rankings. I think they're right now playing the second best football in the league. Like I said, I think New Orleans plays, but what a kick to the nuts this matchup is. It's like New Orleans has some bad karma going on with –
They do have some bad karma.
Yeah, they got that
bounty gate.
They got to get one of the it's New Orleans, man. Go down to Bourbon Street, get one of the tarot card readers to get some of that bad voodoo out of there, man. It's
kidding.
I don't know what's going on there. Oh, by the way, I forgot to give my my fantasy stuff out for New England, Tennessee. I'll give that in a bit. Yeah, man, it's a tough one. But like I said, I think New Orleans. I'm not gonna take an 8-point there though. I'm gonna say Minnesota, and my computer Rockobot says Minnesota. Brad, are you taking New Orleans to cover that spread?
I am. Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, Brad and I disagree, and Brad's better with playoff betting than I am, so I don't love it. Did you take? Sorry, you took Buffalo for sure, right?
I did. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Now let me get the fantasy football stuff out of the way for Minnesota. I think Cousins is a sit in daily fantasy this week. You can do better. Let's see here. Dalvin Cook is a start. I like Thielen and Diggs. Don't like anybody else from Minnesota. For New Orleans, I actually, based on Brees' salary, I don't have him as a play. I actually have most quarterbacks pretty closely ranked this week. Let's see here. I have Kamara as a start. Michael Thomas is a definite start. And Jared Cook, I like his matchup against the Minnesota defense. Now, let me catch back up, Brad. Let me make a note of the time here because I'm probably have to splice this together. Let's see, 37. But Minnesota, like I said, man, I think New Orleans has it. I think New Orleans has it. It looks like Thomas is going to get 1 to 2 touchdowns. Jared Cook's going to get in there. Yeah, I see this as both teams. And I'll also go through the stats for you, Brad. Minnesota scores 26.5 points on the road. That's a pretty good road offense.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Defensively, they give up about 22 points, 21.8. At home, New Orleans scores 28.4 and gives up 23, which I thought their defense would be a little bit better. But I think that San Francisco 49ers game where they gave up like the 50 or the 45 or whatever it was, that probably skewed their number quite a bit. Interesting game. I think this game, both teams score in the 20s. So that's why I have Minnesota. It's 8 points is a lot in playoff football, man.